In this series, over the seals, trumpets and bowls described in Revelations, we will take a deep look into the events that are about to happen according to the Bible. I will take you on an epic journey in a way that is never done before. We will discover the events that will happen in the near future by opening the Bible and envisioning what this looks like. Jesus is coming back soon, ladies and gentlemen, and we, his bride, will be ready for his return. So sit back and relax.
We need a single global order.
So that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change.
You know, at some point there's going to be a third world war.
Yeah, of course.
And after World War III, who knows what's left after World War III?
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
The most important event that will happen after the rapture. In 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 17 we read that we will meet Jesus in the clouds and that we will be with him during the tribulation when the AntiChrist is ruling on the earth. Are you ready for this epic event to take place where our lives will take a drastic turn? Because we will be with Christ forever and ever. When we have been caught up, someone else will come to proclaim himself as the Messiah. Because to this day, people are searching for a powerful leader that will solve the problems in the world. Here's an example. Back in 1919, a man called Dietrich Eckart was searching for the Messiah that could lead Germany. He found Adolf Hitler and became his mentor. Little did he know what kind of monster it turned into. He saw the rise of Hitler happen before his eyes, and it was too late for him to stop him. He passed away in 1923. People are always searching for someone who can free them from their problems. Now let's turn to the Bible. In Revelation 6 we read about the first seal that will be broken. As I watched, the Lamb broke the first of the 7 seals on the scroll. Then I heard one of the 4 living beings say with a voice like thunder, "Come!" I looked up and saw a white horse standing there. Its rider carried a bow and a crown was placed on his head. He rode out to win many battles and gain the victory. The consequences of the first seal are a white horse and a rider who is carrying a bow and a crown is on his head. This man will cause a lot of destruction. But who is this man exactly? There are a couple things we should notice. First, he is riding a white horse. Second, he is carrying a bow. And third, he is wearing a crown. The fact that this man on the white horse is carrying a bow, we know it is the devil himself. We can verify this in Ephesians 6 verse 16. We read, "In addition to all of these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil." We read that Satan is riding on a white horse. This can be very confusing for many people because it seems that this is the Messiah we've all been waiting for. However, the Bible teaches us that Satan can disguise himself as an angel of light. We can verify this in 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14. And no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. The Bible mentions that Satan is wearing a crown. We all know that kings wear crowns. With a crown comes authority that Satan will use in order to destroy as many people as he can. That's why we read in Revelation 6 verse 1. He rode out to win many battles and gain the victory. Brothers and sisters, it may seem that the rider on the white horse seems to be the Messiah, but the real Messiah is Jesus. He wears not one crown, but many crowns. When Jesus returns, it will be clear as crystal. You will know for 100% that He is the Messiah we've all been waiting for. We read about the many crowns of Christ in Revelation 19, verse 11 to 12. I saw heaven standing open, and there before me was a white horse, whose rider was called Faithful and True. With justice he judges and wages war. His eyes are like blazing fire, and on his head are many crowns. The question is, when will the first seal be broken? The first seal will be broken after the rapture. When will the rapture happen? This question was asked by the church in Thessalonians. In 1 Thessalonians 4 we read about the rapture. The church must have questioned, when will this happen? So they wrote a letter back to Paul, and he replied the following in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 1. Now concerning how, when all this happened, dear brothers and sisters, we don't really need to write you, for you know quite well that the day of the Lord's return will come unexpectedly like a thief in the night. When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor's pain begins, and there will be no escape. The message is clear. When people are saying around you that there is peace and it is secure, then disaster happens out of nowhere. The times we live in are quite peaceful, and everything seems to be okay. Of course, there are things going on in the world that needs to be addressed, but in general, things have never been this good before. Never have we been living with so many people on this earth. So what would be the most ideal scenario for the Antichrist to rise? If you look back at history, strong leaders stand up during utter chaos, when people are divided, and in some cases, there are financial problems. Let's go back in time and see what we can learn from it. It is the end of the 12th century. Timothy, a child, has recently lost his father. His father has been poisoned by a hostile clan. Timothy's father was a valiant warrior and the best of the Mongolian chiefs. His wife and children now have to do it alone. Without the father, they are doomed to death. Timothy is just 9 years old. His name means he who beats steel. He swore to take revenge for what happened to his father. He will later be known as Genghis Khan. Mongolia was divided, and the clans were fighting each other for more power. When Temujin was old enough, he worked together with another chieftain called Jamukha. Together, they defeated all the other clans in Mongolia and brought them together. Towards the end, he even killed Jamukha to gain the title Genghis Khan. After he gained the title, he became bored and set out to defeat the Yin dynasty. In the end, the Mongol Empire became the largest continuous land empire in history. What can we take from this? The country was divided and in chaos. A strong leader rose up, he brought everyone together and defeated neighboring countries. The same thing happened with the rise of Adolf Hitler. Before 1923, no one was listening to Hitler and his Nazi party. Germany was doing fine, lending money from America, and the people were getting wealthier. Germany, however, still had to pay money back to countries like France because of the First World War. The first payment happened in June 1921, and the Deutsche Mark rapidly decreased in value. The solution was to buy foreign currency, whatever the cost. This caused even more inflation. And by autumn of 1922, the mark was worthless. Who was predicting this? Adolf Hitler. Now people were listening, and during the new elections, his party grew rapidly. This is just a small start for Hitler to gain absolute power. So what can we take from this? Again, the country was divided and in chaos. A strong leader rose up and he brought everyone together and defeated neighboring countries. The book of Revelations is not the only book in the Bible that talks about the Antichrist. In the book of Daniel 7, we read about the beast that rises up from the water. This beast has 10 horns on his head that stand for 10 kings that will rule the world for a brief moment. Then 3 kings will step aside and make room for the Antichrist. Let's read Daniel 7, verse 7 and 8. Then, in my vision that night, I saw a 4th beast, terrifying, dreadful and very strong. It devoured and crushed its victims with huge iron teeth and trampled their remains beneath its feet. It was different from any other beast, and it had 10 horns. As I was looking at the horns, suddenly another small horn appeared among them. 3 of the first horns were torn out by its roots to make room for it. This horn had eyes like human eyes and a mouth that was boasting arrogantly. And this is the explanation Daniel receives. This 4th beast is the 4th world power that will rule the earth. It will be different from all the others. It will devour the whole world, trample and crushing everything in its path. Its 10 horns are the 10 kings who will rule that empire. Then another king will arise, different from the other 10, who will subdue 3 of them. During the time of Daniel, the 4th beast represents the Babylonian Empire that crushed all its enemies. And later on, this was the Roman Empire that was ruling during the time when Jesus was on the earth. However, the 4th beast will come back. In Revelation 13 and 17, we'll read about the same beast. I recommend reading these chapters. The fact that 3 kings have to step aside for a new king is the most important event in human history. This will be the first time that the devil himself will come to power that has never seen before and will never be seen again. It seems there's a power struggle in this new and powerful empire. What could be the scenario for the Antichrist to rise? Rulers among each other are battling each other. There is always a crave for more power, and it seems in the dream of Daniel that another man will subdue 3 other gentlemen in charge. Maybe he's an assistant of these 3 gentlemen in power, and on top of that, he baffles them with his personality and ruthlessness. What Hitler did was speaking with authority, and the people were able to identify themselves with him. Because before he went into politics, he was part of the working class. Also, Genghis Khan had a great personality and was well respected among his men. However, there is something we should notice. Paul said in 1 Thessalonians 4 that there will be peace and security. Jesus said the same thing in Matthew 24 in verse 36 to 44. To give you more context, Jesus is talking about the rapture. But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will be the coming of the Son of Man be. Then 2 women will be in the field, one will be taken, the other left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore, also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Let's get to reality. The people are eating, drinking, and marrying. All seems fine until we, followers of Christ, are taken out of the way. It is not going to take another 100 years. The day of the Lord is at the gates, and the Lord is coming for us. After the rapture, the world will fall in utter chaos. People will say aliens have come. Others will say that judgment day has come. And maybe others will ignore the things that have happened and try to live a normal life. Millions of people will disappear from the earth. Of course, this will be the perfect scenario for the Antichrist to rise. He will proclaim, "I am the Messiah," and he will put himself into the temple of Jerusalem that will be rebuilt. Because of the rapture, which is a supernatural event, people will be open for miracles that the Antichrist will perform. The people that have a personal relationship with Jesus will be in heaven. We will be with him, protected from the judgment of God that will be poured out on the earth. Allow me to encourage you. I want you to read and study the Bible. Spend time with Christ and follow Bible studies. Be full of his spirit and hold on to his word. Because when we hold on to his word, it will be for our glory. Try to memorize Bible verses and talk to Christ every single day. When you're going to work, talk to Christ. When you're alone, talk to Christ. What I want to say is, build a personal relationship with him and stand firm in his word. Tell people around you about Jesus and that he loves them. It is in you, ladies and gentlemen. It is in you the whole time. You can do it. Have faith. When I started evangelizing on the streets in my city, I did it with my knees shaking. But when you start moving, Christ is moving with you, and you will become more comfortable.